Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a great show lined up. Got a special guest here. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Remember, check out the openings on the aviation program they've started over there. Now, today's high is going to be right at 76 degrees and low is 65. The cool weather is finally out of here. Just like, we always talk about this every year. There's always that cool snap right before Easter, and it happened again this year, and it's fascinating. Year in and year out, it happens like that. It gets really cool right before Christmas, sometimes right around, Easter, and sometimes right around Easter itself. So just be aware of that. But now, the water temperature is what's surprising. It's dropped down to 63 degrees. When I looked at last Friday's reading, the water temperature was 70 degrees, so it really plummeted over the last 3 or 4 days, but it'll start working its way back up now. Let's take a look at the river readings. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown is getting on down there now. It's at a 6.3. I'm sorry, today's at an 8.3, but it's going to get on down there close to 7. We want to get around 6 is the ideal place, but 8.3 this morning. The Choctawhatchee at Carabelle is dropped now. It's going to stay level for a couple of days. It's reading a 5.8, and it's going to get on up to maybe around 6 for the middle or latter part of the week. The marine forecast will be west-southwest at about 10 to 20. All right, that takes care of our weather. We'll take a break and come right back. All right, welcome back, and a special welcome to Captain Ken Paramore.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad to be back.
The reason I say it's a special welcome today is Ken Paramore's last day working for the FWC.
It is.
He's going to retire.
And it's tough to talk about.
Well, I'm telling you, we're glad you made it. We could squeeze in the show today because I know you got a lot of stuff to do and all. But
I do.
Quickly tell folks what's going on.
Well, after 35 years, it's time to turn the page, as they say. So I started in May the 4th of 1980. Mm-hmm. So and I'm going to take a month of leave. So in 1 month, I'll have had 35 years.
Wow.
And but today is March 31 is my official last putting this uniform on working day.
Wow. So I'll take a good picture of this. You want to see Ken in uniform anymore?
Maybe one more time if you want to coax me back before the end of
and I told him he got to,
but
Stan came on the other day too, and he's retired, so he definitely wants you to come back on, on occasion and tell us about what's going on, because I know you're an avid outdoorsman.
Yes, and that's part of what I like to do, and and it's been a rewarding career. It's been a fun career, and you feel like you kind of made a difference over the years, particularly when I had the boots on the ground and was able to get out and try to make a difference. So it's going to be tough. I tried to think the other day, it's over half of my life.
Yeah.
I guess this is all I've done. And of course, moving up through the ranks, you get more and more away from the field work, but you still have the opportunity to go and get involved. And you get to see your newer, younger officers come up and kind of, when it's time to pass the torch.
What are some of the major things you're going to miss?
Being able to protect the resources of the state of Florida and make a difference. I'm going to miss the people that I work with and the people that I interact with, such as people on this show, and out there, the contacts that I've made over the years, and where you can share the knowledge and the law and educate and try to help people not only do the right thing, but learn about the hunting and the fishing that goes on wherever you may be in the state, and kind of be looked up to by kids who want to either have this career or pursue a career in the outdoors or just recreate. So this uniform is the face of the outdoors as far as the police in the outdoors, and whenever you can make a difference and impress upon somebody the importance of protection, but also having them enjoy an outdoor experience. You know, it's really rewarding, and you don't realize it here, you know, until the end.
Yeah, it sort of starts hitting home then.
It does.
Well, let me ask you this, Ken. What are some things you will not miss?
The daily grind, you know, I've got to get up this morning and I've got this meeting, or my boss wants me to do this, or I've got a deadline on this project or paper. I'm not going to miss the having to answer to somebody in some time frame, you know, every day anymore.
Yeah.
If I want to do it, I'll do it, and if I don't, I won't.
What are some of your highlights, you think, just looking back on 35 years, if you think off the top of your head? We hadn't planned any of this, we just randomly shooting. Just some of the things that really stick out to you.
One of the cases I was able to be involved in years ago was, and it still holds the record probably for the most numbers. So I was involved in and caught 3 individuals on the beach one night in South Florida with another officer, Ross Welborn, and we caught 3 of them leaving the beach with 1,088 turtle eggs.
Oh my goodness!
In marine turtle eggs in a big laundry sack, and they had robbed 10 or 11, 12 nests that night, and to this day, as far as I know, that still holds as the largest seizure in a catch of marine turtle eggs in Florida, for sure.
And I guess the low life, their mentality and stupidity never ceases to amaze you.
True, and they, you know, they had $1 in their mind. They were going to sell those eggs,
and
they were going to make. They were getting, I think, $20 to $25 a dozen at the time. So it was worth it to them to go walk the beach and dig up those nests right after the turtle laid. And but I worked that several years down there and made pretty good amount of, you know, illegal deer cases and turkey cases and alligator cases, and the list goes on, but it's been pretty rewarding.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and catch up on some other things. All right, welcome back on this special day, the last day of Captain Ken Paramore in uniform.
Yep.
So let's. I know you love the turkey hunt, but also you enforce the law. What's going on turkey season?
Turkeys has been open now 9 days, 10 days, 9 days,
Yep.
and I've gone 7 of them. And he's still eluding me. I came pretty close yesterday. I had him coming, and some hens got in between us and cut him off, and he went another direction with them. So that was a little aggravating. But it's always, if you can hear them gobble and get them to answer you, and even to the point where you think they're going to be on their way, it's pretty exciting if you don't pull the trigger. So I'm happy with that. It's been kind of slow. We've had some weather issues, obviously. They haven't really, to me, been gobbling where I've been on a consistent basis. You might hear 1 or 2 in the mornings, and they may be, you know, kind of far off. And a lot of times you hear them just a time or two, and then you don't hear anything else. I've heard a lot of that, but I've talked to people in like Jackson County and said they've been gobbling their heads off. So I'm not sure, but it's been fun, you know, chasing them so far, and it's not over. So real quick, remind everybody, opening weekend, our officers made 2 baiting cases, 2 different counties, with people within 100 yards of feeders or feed, and using a call in a blind. They put decoys up in the corn. I mean, you can't hunt turkeys like that over bait. So I just want to mention that real quick.
Okay.
That's pretty much it on turkeys. We've still got about 3 weeks left, I believe it is. So we're still going to get after them, especially now that I don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
I want to change gears here real quick and get into some saltwater stuff. Sharks. You know, we've had some big sharks landed and caught recently off our beaches, and one in particular was a great white shark. And we got a few complaints from the public about the pictures that were taken from that person who caught the great white shark. And don't get me wrong, we're not blaming anybody for catching a great white and taking pictures of it. But there's a fine line there between landing and harvesting and reducing to possession on these species of sharks that are prohibited. and a great white is one of them. Hammerhead shark's another one. A tiger shark is another one. And any of those 3 that I mentioned, there's a whole list of them in our code
You
book.
got the Bible right there
Yeah, I
for law
do.
enforcement.
And I've got it open to that page, and it says no person shall harvest, possess, or land any of these species. And your tigers, great whites, and your great hammerhead are those species you can't. But obviously, when you're shark fishing, you have to land the fish in order to be able to release it, and you can't control what kind of shark gets on the end of your line. So it's a fine line for us as far as, you know, not getting excited about someone who catches a great white or a tiger and has to land it in order to release it. The important thing is to release it as soon as possible, you know, unharmed. Take it out of the water only as far as necessary to make that release, even if it means cutting the leader. You know, if you leave a hook in the corner of his mouth, it's not going to affect anything. Be real careful about, you know, landing it way up to where it's out of water and you're taking your pictures, and it also reduces a lot of complaints on our part, because we do have people that know the law and interpret the law literally. Yeah. And there's no gray area there. But I understand, and we understand, that they have to land the fish in order to release it. So just a word of helping us out by reducing complaints, release those protected species ASAP.
Yeah, and I think the climate of these shark hunters, their attitude has changed over the last years and all. They're willing to do that.
Exactly, and they didn't mean to harm the shark. They tagged the shark. They provided research for the shark. It cuts down on our headaches.
I've seen it. I've seen the guys. I've talked to the guys and all. They're a lot more conscientious about this now, and I think we're headed in the right direction on that. Right. Plus, you don't want them, you know, shark thrashing around, you know, waist deep of water. You're trying to unhook it. You got to get it in close enough to do it. I think that's good.
There's a fine line there, and we will take that kind of an approach. But better off we can get some help from them by that's foremost in our mind, is we can't harvest or possess the fish any longer than necessary.
Good deal.
Gulf Reef Fish permit is going to be in effect April 1. So for those people who are going grouper fishing and snapper fishing upcoming weeks and months, there's that Gulf Reef Fish permit that is free of charge, but you do need to go online. You can get them at tax office. There's a bunch of places you can get it in order to. And all that is to be able to provide information if you're chosen to participate in a survey after the end of the reef fish season, per se. But all the species of reef fish and the amberjacks and the triggerfish, the groupers, if you're going to be fishing for those and harvesting those, you need to have that permit. Grouper, April 1, you talked about, which is, I guess, is tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, those boys down in Caravelle.
In those 4 counties.
Yeah, they're sharpening the hooks right now.
Yeah. Keep in mind, you talked Friday, I believe it was, on your show about landing, where you can land those fish.
Yes.
And I think the question was, can you come in Indian Pass with them?
Yes.
And the answer is yeah, you can land in the Gulf County portion of Indian Pass, all of Apalachicola Bay, all of Indian Pass, and then those 4 counties back to the east. Obviously you can land, and then if you get down towards Dixie and Taylor, there's a place there that's the furthest east point that you can land. But back to what you were saying Friday, don't be bringing grouper into Mexico Beach or Panama City, or St. Joe for that matter. If you're going grouper fishing in those counties that are open, which is Franklin east, those fish, the furthest west they can be landed in our viewing area would be Indian Pass. So you can land them in Indian Pass, even though that's Gulf County, but that's it. And also, it's a state waters fishery only. Yeah. It's not federal waters.
Yeah. And we were talking about Friday also about what good bottom, and you know that's too, that good bottom they have down that little area around the Big Bend.
And they even troll, you know, in shallow waters down there with those big plugs, 30 to 50 feet, and catch some nice grouper.
They're called stretch 30 plugs. Yep. It's fascinating to catch them. We've done that. It's fascinating to catch them trolling.
And I imagine tomorrow they'll be after them down there if weather permits. So just keep in mind, you can only land them furthest west you can land them is Indian Pass.
Okay. All right, we're going to take our final break and come right back. All right, welcome back on the final segment of Panhandle Outdoors. Sitting here on Captain Ken Peppermore's final segment as a uniformed officer, but he's going to come back and see us some. He promised, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go to fish and game forecast today, brought to us by Mark Coward, Edgewater Beach Realty. Our times are this morning from 10:06 to 12:06, and midnight tonight, 12:28 to 2:28. So that's going to be our time today. Let me mention this. A friend of mine has a boat for sale now. Like I say, let me know. We'll try to sell everything for you. This is an older boat, but it's a good brand. It's a Pacemaker boat, 1969, 33-footer, twin diesel inboards, runs great. Sleeps 6 people, got a new diesel generator. Call now. The guy James. It's in Bay County, Gulf County. I only want $6,000 for it. Or $8,000 with a generator. And the number, here's his number now. The home number is 348-0138. 348-0138. And if you get lost or something on that number, just call me and I'll get it straight. And that's a good boat right there. Okay, you had a couple more things.
Our commission meeting. Our commissioners are meeting April the 15th. And there's 2 big topics on that agenda, April 15. One of them is the proposed state waters only red snapper season.
Yeah.
And as you know, it's been kicked around. We had a public meeting here and some other cities in the Panhandle about the proposal to have like a 70-day season. It would open the Saturday of Memorial Weekend through the July 4 weekend, and then beyond like mid-July closure, and then open back up Labor Day, and then weekends in September and October, thereafter. And I think it's gotten some positive response, and our commissioners will be deciding on that season April 15. If it passes and they go along with it, that will be our season, and it'll be about 70 days,
wow,
which I think is encouraging, and it'll also allow some fall fishing.
That's great. I like that schedule.
That would be state waters only. They're also going to be taking up bears and the issues with bears at their April 15th meeting, and they are going to be working on and looking at, probably a bear season next fall would be.
Cool.
I think that's their target, is to try to do it as soon as possible.
Okay.
And I think they've got some kinks to work out, and there's a bunch of people that are opposed to any of the bear hunting still, so that's got to be overcome. But
well, there are going to be people opposed to drinking water. I mean, that's just
right.
It's just the
Right.
way it is. So you got some cases of the month.
I do. I've got 2 cases of the month real quick. Officer Steve Wicker and Travis Bassford decided to go and work the steam plant canal on the I believe it was March 1 when it opens back up, and they were in there. They were working in a covert capacity and watched a boat fishing, and they caught a pelican.
Yeah.
And the person in the boat brought the pelican aboard and unhooked the pelican, I'm sorry, and turned and kind of did something with the pelican and turned him loose, and then they did it again the second time. And when the officers went up there, they'd found and discovered that the captain of that boat had tied the pelican's beak closed with mono fishing line, and I guess the pelican was aggravating them, by getting their bait, so they decided to do it that way. So anyway, they got a piece of paper, and we're going to have to go to court on that one.
Okay.
The other one is Matt Gore, another Bay Countyan, FWC officer, stopped a boat coming in from offshore just last week and asked if they had any fish on board, and the guy on board said that they had a red grouper and some lane snapper. So he looked at those fish and he asked them if they had any other fish on board, and the answer was no. So he asked what was in the cooler, and it's some drinks and some sandwiches.
I smell something coming.
Yep. So he asked if he could take a look. He looked in there, and there was a big old bag full of fillets. So he got to talking to the guy about the fillets, and he told him that they were red snapper fillets.
Oh.
So it goes to show you, there's always somebody.
That's something.
But that's what I was talking about earlier, about the satisfaction you get
Yeah.
when you are doing your job and because that person is stealing from you.
Yeah.
That person is stealing from us.
Yeah.
If you and I can't go catch red snapper this time of year, obviously that person shouldn't be able to as well.
Yeah.
So the satisfaction comes when somebody like that comes in and he's purposely caught them out of season, he's purposely hit them, he's purposely filleted them, so as try not to have the whole fish on board. That's enough intent right there to say when you catch him that you caught somebody who was genuinely and deliberately trying to break the law.
Yeah.
And so that's what we get out of it. So this person took a chance, and he just happened to be the one that got checks coming in, and kudos to Matt Gore for being there.
And that's a classic case you mentioned today, where between somebody, trying to break the law, and then somebody like with those shark guys, they're not trying to break the law; they're trying to save the shark. And these guys over here they're stealing from us. That's just not a figure of speech.
They're stealing from us.
They really are.
And I can tell the young guys, you got to use discretion, but intent really means a lot towards what makes up your mind. And if the intent is there to deliberately break the law, then so be it. I mean, he's going to have to take the ride.
That's right.
If someone inadvertently, makes a mistake, or our rules are convoluted enough as they are.
Yeah.
And if it's an honest mistake and you don't feel there's a whole lot of intent, that's what we have warnings for. So,
Well, okay. I wanted 30 seconds real quick. What are you going to do all this retirement time?
I'm going to finish up turkey season. Then we're going to work on the snapper.
Okay.
And then hopefully get into the fall and work on the deer again.
And you're good about sending pictures, so we'll keep showing pictures of it.
Hopefully you'll get that first turkey picture pretty soon.
Okay. And I want to say on behalf of our viewers and myself, I want to thank you for coming on Panhandle Outdoors these years. You brought a lot to this show, and I appreciate it. But more than that, I want to tell you how much we appreciate you as citizens for enforcing the law and the service you've done for all of us. So thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Folks, thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Do something good for someone else today. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.